Actually be the worst Colleen Hoover fan ever, because I just realized I forgot the fucking book that's literally tattooed on my fucking body. I mean, this might be the only tattoo that I might cover up. I don't know. I got it when I was 19, which is when I read the book, Ugly Love, and it crushed my soul like no book has ever crushed my soul before. Like, I didn't know my soul could be crushed like this before from a fictional book, but it did it. Ugly Love did it, and now Ugly Love gets 5 out of 5 fucking stars. Ugly Love's like insane. Ugly Love's crazy. And I can't believe I just forgot that one. I'm just gonna make sure there's no other Colleen Hoover books that I forgot. Well, the Abby Klein series, the Seabury series, which is gonna be, this is like a 7 book series or something like that. And these are all some beachy, steamy, little spicy reads if you love a little spicy romance. But like, they're nothing crazy. They're not no, you know, they're not no fucking Colleen Hoover, or Colleen Hoover rated type book. So I'm gonna give, honestly, I'm gonna give Breathe, which is the first book in that series here. I'm gonna give Breathe a 2 out of 5 stars. I'm gonna give Because of Low. I actually like that one more than the first book, so I'm gonna give that one, because I love Marcus. I'm gonna give that one a 3 out of 5. While It Lasts, I'm gonna give that one here 2.5 out of 5 stars. Just For Now, I'm gonna give that one a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Sometimes It Lasts, I'm gonna give that one a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Misbehaving, I'm gonna give that one a 2 out of 5 stars. Bad For You, I actually like that couple. They were little cuties. I'm gonna give that one a 3 out of 5 stars. And then Hold On Tight, I'm gonna give that one a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Like, that series wasn't anything crazy. I just still think it's, if you, like I said, if you love a steamy romance, if you love a beach read, if you still want a concept that's still really good, Abby Glines is still a good read. It's just not my favorite of all these romance novels that I've read. They're just really good steamy ones. Like, she writes some good steamy ones, if you know what I mean, ladies. Or boys, you mean, I don't judge. And then next year is gonna be the Fallen Too Far series by Abby Klein's. Fuck, another one that's like 8 motherfucking books up in that bitch. And I've only read the first, like, 4. So I've read Fallen Too Far, I've read Rush Too Far, I've read Never Too Far, I've read Twisted Perfection, I've read Forever Too Far, and then I've read Simple Perfection. I didn't finish Simple Perfection all the way, but like, again, those are just like some southern country novels from the South that I don't like. They're not terrible, they're just not the best either. And I like this series probably less than I like the Seabury series, but I know there's just more depth with these characters than there is in the Seabury series. And I'm pretty sure this series is more popular than the Seabury series in her book stuff or whatever. But Fallen Too Far, I'm gonna give that one like a 3 out of 5. Rush Too Far, or Never Too Far, I'm gonna give that one like a 2 out of 5. Rush Too Far, I'm gonna give like a 2 out of 5. Forever Too Far, I'm gonna give that one here like a 2 out of 5. Simple Perfection, I'll give that one like a 3 out of 5. Or excuse me, Twisted Perfection, I'm gonna give that 3 out of 5. Then Simple Perfection, I'll give like a 2.5 out of 5. I like the idea that Rush Too Far was at least a different concept than the first book. Like I said, there's some people who can write the same story completely differently, and there's somebody who just copy and pastes the same shit. So, like I said, the Seabury series isn't a bad series. I still recommend it to you. And then there's obviously How to Ruin My Boyfriend's Reputation, Summer Vacation, Life, whatever it is series. That's also by Simone Alcalez. This one was completely different than all of her other books. It was just about pretty much the girl's point of view. I just really thought it was a cute little teen book that wasn't teen or cringy. So I thought it was still interesting, and we went to a whole other country, and we got to explore culture from a whole other country. So I thought that was a really cool idea and concept with that. And then the other one by Simone Alcalez is gonna be Wild Cards. And that one was cute too. I mean, obviously it's the cheesy girl that wants to be on the football team and stuff. But I thought the couple was still cute, and the idea was still cute. It just wasn't nothing too crazy. It was still just, you know, an overall cute kind of book or whatever. Just saying. What else is there here? And then there's the Vincent Boyz. And then there's the Vincent Brothers. That is the Vincent series by Abby Glines as well. Those are actually the first books that I read by Abby Glines that I picked up, where I was like, I read those two, and then I ended up picking up the Seabree series, which is the first book, Breathe. I picked that one up after I'd read these two. These two were really good. I loved the idea of following that family, and I 100% believe you have to read both of these. You don't, it's one of those things. I feel like you have to. I feel like you should read the first book to read the second book, but you don't necessarily have to. I think you should, because the first people in the first book are who's in the second book, and it's somebody we really get to know. So that's why I think you should read both books. But the first book, the Vincent Boyz, I'm gonna give that one like a 3 out of 5 stars. And then Vincent Brothers, I think I'm gonna give that one a 3 out of 5 stars as well. I like those ones more than I like the Seabree series, even though it was only 2 books. I just liked those characters the most. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. Oh, I forgot this little lone straggler here. And then this one is going to be My Life Next Door. And this is going to be here by Huntley Fitzpatrick. This is the only book that I have read. I would give this one like a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Maybe a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was a cute, beachy read where like all the characters that were in the book were really written well. It made you like all of them. All the characters were really unique and distinctive, which was interesting because it's a lot of people in this book. A lot of people in this book. So I still recommend it though. It's still a pretty good read for that. I'm a fool because I totally forgot that I had this book that was sitting on my pile of haven't read yet, but I have read it. It's another one in that series by Abby Glines, the Until Friday Night series. The other two in that series. This is the 3rd book, I'm pretty sure, in the series. And then Under Losing the Field might be the 4th book. Yeah, that's what I'm pretty sure it is. So I read this one as 2. This one's by Abby Glines. I would give this one here. This one was like a love triangle type of one, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to give this one... Oh, wait, no. This is not the love triangle one. The one before that was the love triangle one. This is about the guy who's in that one. Okay, I'm going to give this one about like a 2.5 out of 5 stars. It wasn't terrible. Wasn't the best. And then we're getting into Harry Potter. I know this is going to be kind of cheesy because I feel like everybody and their moms has read Harry Potter or watched the movies. But me, a 25-year-old, about to be 26 in September here, the 24th, I read Harry Potter for the first time this year. Never seen any of the movies, never read any of the books, read the book on Audible. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna start the books because I want to read the books before I watch the movies. Never watched the movies. I wanted to read the books. Started them on Audible, and oh my fucking god, is this like one of the best book series that I've read. It's so good. Is it like a little kiddie in some books? Definitely. Is it like not as like, it's not like some Game of Thrones type of shit, but like, you know, it's a whole world that you're just dedicated in, and it's so fucking good. And if you haven't, and if you watch the movies, I still recommend reading the book because the book's got like so many details that the show, I know the movie just left out. Like I've watched a comparison video, I know the movie leaves so much out. So I'm gonna give the Harry Potter series overall, I'm gonna give that series a honestly a 5 out of 5, maybe 4.5. There's definitely little tweaks and changes that I would make. Barely, just barely anything. Just a few little things, you know. So that's why I'd give it maybe a 4.5 out of 5 stars. And then I'm going to rate each individual Harry Potter book that I've read. So so for the first one, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stones, I'm going to give this one like a 3 out of 5. It's the first book. Nothing too crazy happens in that one, all right? Nothing too crazy happens in that one. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. That one wasn't bad either, but I feel like that's the one that I remember the least about. I remember the least about that one. So I'm going to give that one like a 2.5 out of 5 stars. It ain't bad, but the other books are just so much better. And then Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I fucked with that book. That one's like my book. That's like my book. That's my book. I'm gonna give that one like a 4 out of 5. That one was really good. I really enjoyed the fucking serious aspect of it and stuff. And then there's the Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I'm gonna have to give that one. Am I missing a book? I am missing a book. What book am I missing? So I got Harry Potter Chamber of Secret. Please don't fucking come for me. I'm so fucking dumb. My dumbass forgot to add Harry Potter in the Order of the Phoenix. That's a really good book too. That's actually one of my favorite books out of all of the Harry Potter books, because I just loved I loved being there, like, with Sirius and all that shit. Like, I loved the Order. I loved everybody, like, being in, like, on the run and then hiding and all that stuff. I just loved that book. So it's Harry Potter the Prisoner of Azkaban. I gave that a 4 out of 5. Then we got Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. That one was really good too. I'm gonna give that one a 4 out of 5 as well. And then we got Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I'm gonna give that one a 5 out of 5. There was just nothing wrong with that fucking book. Excellent. And then Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I don't know if I really liked this one. I wasn't terrible, just so, like, I didn't like the whole Half-Blood Prince part of it, I feel. I don't know. I'm going to give that one like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It wasn't terrible, it just wasn't my favorite. And then the Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, everything but the ending. So I'm going to give it a 4.5. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 just because I fucking hate the ending. I don't like how Voldemort dies. That's just unacceptable. It's too easy. Too easy. And don't get me started on who bodied Bellatrix. The fact that it was spoiler if you haven't read it. The fact that it was Mrs. Weasley, I don't even want to get into that. I don't even want to get into that. That's a whole nother video. Harry Potter, it's going to have to be a whole nother video. And then we're going to go into From Blood and Ash. I thought that one was a really good book too. I'm going to give that one, that's not part of the Harry Potter series. That's just a single book here that I forgot that I had on my list of books, and I totally don't have a picture of it. I will try to link it here if I can figure it out how to do that. But Blood and Ash, that one was really good. I feel like I have that on my... No, I don't. Never mind. That one was really good. And then I don't have the first one. I don't know what the hell I did with it, because I used to own the first one. To All the Boys I Loved Before, and then I have the P.S. I Still Love You, and then there's the third book. I've read the first... I feel like I've read all 3. I can't remember if I read the third book. And if I did remember, I don't remember what happened to it. But the first 2 books are really good. The first book, I'm going to give that one like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was a cute little read. It just, like... The concept was interesting, and I just thought some of it was a little cheesy. The book is 10 times better than the movie, so if you watch the movie and you feel like you know the story, you don't, and you should read the book, because the book is just better than the movie. The movie was just trash. And then last thing here is... This pile is going to fall. I'm just waiting for it. Beautiful Bastard. This one was like a... We work in the same office. You're a rich boss. Let's go fuck in your office. But it was still like an interesting read. It was just like mostly for the steam, you know? Like, let's go fuck in your car. Let's go fuck in your office. Let's go do this and that and the other. So if you want a steamy read, definitely hop onto that. Next here we got Shattering Glass. That was a book that I read as a group class thing in high school as well. And I thought the concept with that one was really interesting, with like trying to figure out who did what, who did it, where, what kind of book, you know? So I give that one like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I have to reread that one because it's been a mad long since I've read that one. And then The Future of Us. I thought that one was a really cool idea of like, it's like pretty much a book about these 2 kids who like discover that there's a thing called Facebook, and then they get to like learn about their lives and stuff. So I thought that was an interesting book. I'm gonna give that one a 3 out of 5. That one was good too. And then Every Day. The concept was good. I got bored through like a lot of it. I gotta reread it. When I remember I did read it, I was just like, I don't think this is it for me. Like, I don't think this is it. Like, I'm gonna give it 2.5 out of 5. It just wasn't for me. It just wasn't it. Okay, to segue into that list of the shows that the list of shows that I forgot on my table last night here, we're gonna start off with that Katie McGarry book here, which is Right at Night. That one was a pretty good read. It wasn't anything too special. I would give that one like a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Like, Katie McGarry's got a good way with writing stuff. That just wasn't my favorite out of the books that she has written. Another Katie McGarry here is gonna be Crossing the Line. And that is part of the Pushing the Limit series, part of those 4 books. I'm pretty sure the character in that is a friend of one of the main girls in another book that we read by Katie McGarry. So that one I would give like a 2 out of 5. That one wasn't too crazy or anything like that. And then there's the Hunger Games trilogy. I mean, obviously everybody and their moms has watched the movies or read the books, right? I read watched the movies actually before I had read the books, because I watched the movies back in like high school and stuff before I even really knew that they were books and stuff. So the overall trilogy, I would give like a 4 out of 5. The really good books, you know what I mean? But for like each book, I give the first book like a 4 out of 5. Second book, I give like a 3.5 out of 5. And then I haven't technically read the last book because I just started this series recently, but like I love the last 2 movies. The last 2 movies were literally my favorite, so I'm going to assume the book itself will be my favorite. Then there's Button and Lace. This is just kind of like, you go in it, kind of how you go into 50 Shades of Grey, you go into this book, the same kind of mindset. Like 50 Shades of Grey, spice, that's the kind of spice you get from this book. So I'm gonna give that one like a 2 out of 5. It wasn't, but it's just like, it's just spice. But it's the kind of spice where like 50 Shades of Grey, you question yourself. You're like, I like this stuff, or am I just weird? Or is this the book weird? Or is the author weird? It's the same kind of idea. I don't know if I'm weird for liking the book, if she's weird for writing it, or we're both weird for being involved in this world, but yeah, here we are. Spice. I love spicy books. If you don't like spicy books, it's okay. I understand. I'm a fan of spicy books. I don't mind some spice here and there. And when I read a book and it's all spice, you know, you got to judge it based off a spice meter. And I'll give that like red hot spices out of 5 spices. And then there's Go Ask Alice. That one is like an anonymous book that I think it's like a journal or like a diary that somebody like discovered or found and then published it into a book, and it's about a girl's life and stuff, so you kind of just read it through their journal and stuff like that. I would give it like a 3 out of 5. It's a very interesting concept, and the fact that it's actually an anonymous like author and stuff like that, I thought that was really interesting. So I would definitely recommend that to anybody. I would give it like I said, 3 out of 5 stars. Then there's the 100 book series. I would just recommend watching the show. Never ever thought that I would say that, but I would give it, the series overall, like a 1.5 out of 5 stars, maybe a 2 out of 5 stars, because there is so much depth with characters in the books and stuff. The show is just so much better. There's just so much more to the characters. There's just so much more to the world. There's just so much more development in the show than there is in the book. And I never thought I would say that about a book series, but just watch the show. You don't even got to read the book. Just watch the show. And then there's The Child Called It. I'm going to give that one here. I'm going to give that a 4 out of 5. It's such a sad book. It's so sad. It's so fucked up. It's disgusting. You made my stomach curl. But it's like something you just got to read. And so you, as a person, can understand the life of somebody else that's not you. And that's where I think privilege lies in, of you just understanding other people, and that understanding that just because your life isn't affected or those things aren't happening to you doesn't mean it's not happening to people every day. And this shit like this is real, and it happens every fucking day. And it's such a sad book, and I think everybody should go out and read it to understand what this young boy went through in his life. I would give it a 4 out of 5 for sure. And then Dead Girls Don't Write Letters. I really like this book. It was another book that I'd read in high school, like Jude and Homeboys, where I really discovered that I like mysteries. I discovered that I like other books besides romance novels. Like, this book had made me sweat, had made me like feel like, oh my God, you know. And the ending, you also don't know. It's one of those endings where you don't know, is it this way, is it that way, is it up, is it down, you know? So I would give that a solid, I would give it a solid 3 out of 5. I thought it was a really decent read. And then there's the other one, Jude here. That's the other book that I read in high school that that wasn't a romance novel, that I was like, oh, I actually enjoy other kinds of books. This one was really good. It was just like the aspect of like him being charged with a crime he didn't commit, and then going through that experience with him and stuff, and like his life and stuff like that. I thought it was an interesting aspect, so I would give that one, I would give it like a 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then there's Sweet Little Things by Abby Glines as well. That one was like a whatever series. It wasn't anything too special. I never finished it. I only read the first book. So that just says something alone. I'm going to give it like a 2 out of 5. Like, it wasn't anything crazy. You know what I mean? And then another Abby Glines book here is going to be Boyz South, I think it's called, so it's Boyz South of the Mason-Dixon, and then there's Brothers South of the Mason-Dixon. That's part of the series that Abby Glines wrote under another author name, so I don't know if she did it as like a fun project or something like that, but it's pretty much just a book full of spice. You know, there's some southern girls, some southern boys living their life, and they're just having sex and stuff, pretty much. Like, I mean, it's just like, I mean, that's what I get from it. There's obviously development with the characters a little bit and stuff like that, but it's just like one of those spicy reads that you go in knowing there's going to be spice. So I would give that series overall like a 2 out of 5 for both books. Like nothing too crazy. Then there's the Extinct series by Abby Klein, Save the Best for Last. I'm so surprised that I actually forgot this book series in my list of stuff. Like, I'm surprised I filmed the whole thing, edited it, and didn't realize that I forgot this series, because out of all the Abby Klein's books that I've read, this is absolutely my favorite series. I really like, this is completely different than anything she's written at all. And the fact that there was a supernatural aspect, I thought she did really well with that in developing that kind of world as somebody who has never written anything like that I've read. So I really liked it. So I'd give that series overall 3.5 out of 5 stars. I'd recommend it. Go check it out. This one's, and, you know, if you're going to read anything by Abby Klein, I would read this series and the Seabree series. But this one was just really good. I really enjoyed that one as well. 13 Reasons Why. I know, by Jay Asher. A lot of people read this in high school, I feel. I ended up not reading it until after I had actually watched the show. I know, right? At least I read the book, you know. But I wanted to, like, read the book because I always, every time I get into a show or a movie and I find out that there's a book about it and I really enjoyed the show or the movie, I'll, like, go read the book. And the book was good. I liked some of the concepts they did in the show, even with them continuing on with the second and third season. But reading it through her point of view and going through the experience and everything with the character broke my heart. And it was, like, really, like, sad and, you know, shit. Like, it was just relatable with some of the things that she was going through. So I'm going to give this one, like, a 3 out of 5. It's still, like, a good read. It's just, like, you know, a concept, you know, obviously with the tapes and everything, just a concept I never would have thought of. So I still recommend reading it, even if you've watched the show and stuff like that. I would still recommend reading the book. And then I also realized I totally forgot some of these Colleen Hoover. Colleen Hoover just has so many books that I think I have them all, and I got my list here, and I'm double checking, you know, checking my list, making it twice, finding out who's naughty or nice, and I realized I forgot November 9 by Colleen Hoover, and this is another 5 out of 5. Honestly, 5 out of 5, maybe a 4.5, because there's some aspects to it that I don't like. But holy shit, was never did I expect the ending. I never expected the ending with this one, and that was like holy shit type of shit. I'm gonna give that one like a solid 4.5 out of 5 stars, almost a 5 out of 5 stars. A few things I would tweak, but otherwise I would recommend anybody to read that. This is one of Colleen Hoover's better books that she's written, and that's no lie, like one of the better books that she has written. And then I think that might be everything on our list for today. The thing is, a lot of my reading stuff started in high school. So, like, I didn't read in elementary school, didn't read in middle school. It was just never something that I liked to do. And it wasn't until, like, I was in high school and my teacher was like, you need to get a book to read for our reading time during class. And then, like, my freshman year, I literally ended up going and grabbing a book. So I was like 15. I went and grabbed a book, and I just fell in love with reading ever since. And I can't tell you guys, I went from somebody who never read to reading over 100 books within that. Like, that's where most of my reading time was in high school. Like, 16, 17, 18, those 3 years of my life were the years I indulged in reading more out of my whole 26 years of being on this earth. So, like, a lot of books, I don't remember the names. I don't remember what they were about. I can't tell you, when I was making this list of all the books that I've ever read to try to, like, get myself to, you know, a list to try to, like, help myself remember everything that I've ever read so I can go back and reread if I want to. So if I ever want to make a video like this, I can. But I know, like, there's a book that I kind of have, like, the vision of me reading it, and I kind of remember some of the things that are about it, but I, for the life of me, can't remember the name of the book, can't remember the name of the characters, and can't remember how it ends. So I know there's books in my life that I've read in high school that I just can't, there's so many that I've read, I just can't remember all of them, and, like, it's so irritating. Like, Jason and Kyra, when I tell you, me and my friend Jasmine were talking about that book, like, she was like, hey, do you remember that book in high school that we read about this, that, and the other? And I was like, oh yeah, what was that book called? And it took me months. I'm telling you, months of, like, Googling, searching keywords, traits about the characters, looking up Black authors because I knew the author was Black. I looked so many different details up to find that author's name in the books. And when I finally found the books, like, the memories all just came back to me. It's like weird how that works. Like it all flooded back to me, everything about the book that I actually did remember. And it's like muscle memory type of thing. But it wasn't until I literally saw the name of the title and the author that it all like flooded back to me, everything that I did remember about it. So I know I've read more than these. Like my overall book count is only like 150 books that I've read, I feel, or maybe even less. I just feel like there's way more that I've read that I can't remember because of the short period of time in my life that I read so many books. Like I was reading on the bus, I was reading in class, I was getting sent to the office for reading. Like reading was my all-time thing in high school. So I know there's way more books on here that I haven't gotten to, that I haven't even like showed here. So I know there's more books out there. I just can't remember everything that I've read. And on my next video also is going to be a book that I have on my to be read list, because I have a huge pile on my fucking bed of my to be read list pile. So that's going to be something else that I'm going to be getting into. But it seems here that that is the whole list of all the books that I've read that I can physically remember or recall. So I'm hoping that you guys did enjoy the video, and I'm hoping that it wasn't too rushed, too cluttered, me talking too fast. I hope it was good enough where you kind of got the concept of what I was trying to do. And I know, like, just look at this over here. God, I know, don't even, I don't want, yeah. I need to go through my freaking bookshelf and just clear this all out and get this all organized again. But I'm hoping you guys did enjoy the video, and if there's any books on this list that you have read or you have a rating or anything like that, definitely let me know in the comments. I am active in those comment section, guys. I am not joking. I love talking about books. I love especially when I read them and I really like those books. I will go in on them with you. I will go in on them. So definitely leave a comment in the description below if there's any books on here that you have read, that you liked, or any ratings that you like, any ratings that you don't agree with me. Is there a book on here that you fuck with that I gave a bad rating to? Let me know. Let me hear it. Come at me. I want to know, because I love getting into deep conversations with books. That's why I'm happy to start the podcast, Iroh's Book Talk. I'm hoping you guys end up following that and following my journey with book reviews. I gave you my list of books and everything, but on this channel, Iroh's Book Talks podcast will be uploaded. So eventually, everything that I have read will be reviewed, and then you'll get a full description of the review of what I actually felt about the full book. But I'm only going to do books that I really liked. Anything with a lower than 3 rating on this video clip here, I'm probably not going to do a podcast for. Anything 3 or more, I think is worth a podcast, because it was good enough for me where like, yeah, I really fucked with it, and it was more than above average. So I'm really hoping you guys do join me for Iroh's Book Talk, and if not, I'm glad you guys stayed for this long in the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and also leave any recommendations for books that I didn't say on here and that you have read or you want me to read, and I definitely will, and I'll check them out. And if it's a really good book, maybe there'll be an Iroh's book talk on it. So definitely check out any links in the description below. You can follow me here on my social media sites in the description below. You can check out any of the videos here that I'm going to be uploading here later on this week. I'll put those in the link in the description below as well. And like I said, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Like, it's my first video back after these last few years, and I'm hoping that, you know, you guys did enjoy it. So you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Deuces.